Hello world. Welcome to OnlyFiller podcast, the Friday to your work week. I'm LDJ, and with me always Steve, aka Sabusa TV, aka Tenchin Han. What's up,
Pinching, just missing my third eye.
baby?
Was what she said. Sound good, sound good, all good. It was a okay week with interesting developments here and there, but all good. We had a few things to talk about, just to chat, to see what's going on, to feel, or well, maybe hot takes. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see a couple of good topics this week. So this week, we had some news in the gaming slash pop culture world. So Twitch and Kick drama going on all over that side of the internet. You have also drama going on with Activision and Xbox merger, which it's now been sued, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We have Final Fantasy 16 released just 2 days ago from when we are recording this. So there are reviews, very positive reviews going on. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe we will have some thoughts on that. So a lot of things going on. Oh, we had the Nintendo Direct, which I slept completely through it. It was, I'm sorry for Nintendo fans, but it was so boring. I genuinely fell asleep, man. I genuinely fell asleep.
I've been telling you for a few years now. Companies, like Japanese focus only companies, they don't understand the internet. I don't know why or how in this day and age. It's weird. Japan is a war between our world, and
Yeah,
they
I
have their own
understand.
rules.
War between
Basically,
worlds. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like that. They still hardly believe in paper, which Dunder Mifflin will be proud, and it's strange. Yeah, I know, definitely, and it's scary. Like, you know how terms and condition works.
Yeah.
Like, you don't read them, you just authorize them, and they just happen because no one reads that. Well, there you have to manually check them, like, yes, 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 because they don't have like accept all. That concept evades them, among other things.
It's a
And
different
but
culture, right? It's very different
they're
mindset.
built different.
Yeah, they're built different. Japan is built different, and even Japanese games are built different. And yeah, they have a different type of culture. They don't have woke agendas going on there. They they don't understand much of what goes on in the West, in the Western hemisphere. So and they're an island, right? And so they have their own cultures and stuff, so it's very different. So my man, let's start a little bit, maybe fast. We can jump to this topic a little bit fast, and just talk a little bit about our thoughts with this news. Man, Microsoft and Xbox, Phil Spencer cannot get a break after having a decent or good, at least for their fans, Xbox showcase a couple of weeks ago. They also now they have this bad news, right? Of the FTC, which is the government agency that regulates financial and trade and commerce and all that stuff. Um, is suing or is blocking the merge from Activision Blizzard. So it's not no longer only UK, it's also now the US, which is their primary market, that is opposing it, and it has some interesting points to why they are opposing it. And I just pulled out this article from IGN, which you can see now on my screen. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit just to highlight some stuff. So basically, the argument that the FTC is throwing on, and I'm gonna highlight it here, is that the past acquisitions from Xbox, right? And they are citing a couple, but the first one here is from Heinz, this is a studio, and they released this game called Cinemax. Um, it says that it was released games across multiple platforms, including PlayStation, before it was acquired by Xbox, and now that it's under Xbox, it does not so. And the same thing will inevitably happen if Xbox gets a hold of Activision. So what they are saying is that um, basically what we all know, that Microsoft wants to be an all like to have all these studios to produce exclusive content only, and the FTC is saying that Microsoft has even taken games that were not exclusive, and after they buy the studio, they shift it, or they maybe honor a couple of years, and then it's completely exclusive, right? And they have um, other uh, other games as examples. So what the FTC is saying, that you have already a track record of building exclusives out of these companies that used to be third party, and even games that were released as third party, then you are not longer having as a third party, and so building like um, a monopoly, right?
Mm.
So basically that's this the FTC and this type of agencies. The only thing they care is this going to become a monopoly, right? Is this in the path of becoming a monopoly? If it's so, then we gotta stop it, right? That's basically what they're trying to do. And they say that, and Microsoft has the money, right? Microsoft has the money even to, I don't know, buy Sony if they would want to do so. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting, this article. I highly recommend it. Maybe we will link it in description. um, and uh, even games like Starfield are also becoming uh, a problem for Microsoft, because now that's also being thrown as an example of games that they have been developed for, as the guy in the Starfield said this week, right? 25 years in the making, or 10 years in the making, so that's also they are also providing more information. Okay, so this was not intended to be a exclusive, but now it is, right? And you have been developing that for so long, and it's basically becoming a monopoly. And and, and so, what do you think, man? Do you think
I
they're gonna
yeah.
come through with this deal, or do you think that
I I don't see, they do have a point that it feels like a monopoly, with all with them buying all these companies, or you keep hearing like Microsoft acquires Bethesda, Microsoft acquires blah blah blah, Microsoft acquired this, and they can, like you said, they can, and why not? But these companies are, at the end of the day, they want more market share, and if they cannot get it, at least they will try to get a bigger part of the pie. So buying these companies, I don't see why they will make them exclusives, because no matter how you put it, you still have that other side of the people, of the spectrum, of buyers, of market, that they already have their console at, and you cannot force people to change to just have your console because X game. It works to a certain degree, and yeah, Microsoft is missing, at least on my the West, they're missing that console seller gain for their console generation, which they are not being focusing much, because, like we keep saying, they feel like a software company more than anything.
Yeah,
So,
Microsoft is a software company, and they have always been, and that's
and it
why.
is exactly.
Yeah,
They never focus on their hardware side,
yeah.
and not even in their computer,
Not
and
even the
which
computer, and their tablets suck. No one has a Surface. Let's say.
yeah, or the phone. I can't remember the name of the phone.
Yeah.
The
Or the Soon. You remember when they tried with the Soon?
I don't remember the soon. I was going to mention that actually, but I thinking I remember where I tried to using the iOS on the phone on the phones they had for a while, and I was a nightmare for me. It was this is not intuitive. This is weird. This is
Yeah,
crazy. And so with these kind of deals or mergers, I don't see them just exclusively selling for themselves because it will be hard. But still, to a point, the regulations and all that they have a fair ground because
yeah,
they
they
keep
do.
buying, they keep buying things.
And they keep doing the same thing, right? Like things that were a third party, after a while it's like 1 or 2 years, they are not longer third party, and they become exclusive, and then everything new becomes exclusive, right? So they have a point, and many gamers, and I know that the fan base of Xbox and PlayStation, they hate each other, but gamers say like, but PlayStation does the same, they have exclusive. But yeah, most of their exclusives are built in, like from the ground up studios, right?
Yeah.
And and PlayStation has, Sony, they have games that they have bought the studio, and they still be third party. First example that comes to mind is Destiny. Destiny is produced, developed by Bungie, and Bungie is a Sony studio, but people still can play Destiny, and expansions of Destiny are being released to Xbox, right?
Yeah, it's
And
not like they're gonna change the switch from one day to another because they will be losing money and they know
and
it.
and they know it, and I don't think Sony's gonna do that, right? That's not their goal. Destiny is not gonna move the needle for Sony. They have their exclusives, and they come from another side. And maybe Bungie will do as an exclusive in the future, but that exclusive is not gonna be Destiny, because Destiny is already a game that is a multi-platform game, right? And it's not that we're not talking here of an indie game, right? This Destiny is a popular game, right? More popular than Cinemax and the other games that the FTC is bringing up. So I think that's the difference in mentality that the FTC is here pointing to, right? That it's not just because you want to have exclusives. Everyone want to have exclusives. Nintendo has exclusives. It's just because you are not honoring third party studios, and then you're gonna destroy all third party studios, right? If you want to buy a studio, buy it, but keep producing third party, and then produce also some exclusive. It's not that they are prohibiting Microsoft from producing exclusive. It's just that they want all their games to
Yeah,
become
they want
exclusive.
to own them. I think that's the main problem. Like they want ownership of complete global domination of whatever they release, and that frightens people to a certain point.
Especially
And
these regulators, right? So these regulators see these types of behavior, right? And they say, okay, this is predatory in the market, and and
exactly.
and, and you have the money to keep doing that and keep buying, right? um
Yeah, and then you become it becomes a snowball and you can stop it. And I think like it's not like there's no precedent for this. PlayStation has, and we keep mentioning this game, but it is what it is. You can do what you did with Final Fantasy. Okay, Final Fantasy is focused for the PlayStation, but then you're gonna get it in other platforms. But no, they keep talking about how they want to bring people to their side, and by the end of the day, their side is going to become PC, and that's another market on his own.
yeah.
And so yeah, regulators, like you say, they're gonna and they don't know much about games to begin with. I'm sure of that.
That's true also, yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna see like, okay, what's going on. And so they have a they have, well, this is what you want to believe, but they try to have your best interest in mind.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, this is all money going on. But if they see it that someone is taking too much uh, of that pie, they're gonna, hey, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's I think it's because Game Pass just wants to be like the one platform that you need to have, right? And where you will only find these games on Game Pass, right? And I wouldn't even be surprised if they pull games out of Steam, for example, right? Which is another platform for
That
PC
would be crazy.
gamers. Yeah, they
That would be crazy and really scary. Then you gotta actually think about it. Like, okay, what's going on?
that's on the table, right? That's on the table because Steam in as it, it's kind of another platform for PC gamers, and very popular one, and they don't have a subscription. I don't think they have a subscription type of deal like Game Pass does, but they want to be like the one platform that you need to have if you're a gamer, right? You need to have Game Pass, and that's their goal, right? And that's very clear to anyone who's um, looking at this, right? So I don't know. I don't know. This is happening, and we hope. We hope that if this deal comes through, which I believe could be good for Activision Blizzard because of different reasons, right? So Activision Blizzard has issues on their own, and Bobby Kotick has been a bad influence, let's say, for that um, franchise or that company. Um, so I am not opposed to the merge, but I think that some type of compromise need to be done, especially on Call of Duty, and other exclusives that they will want to have. Um, yeah, so you're back, man. So I was just saying, man, that I am not opposed to the merger because I think the merge is gonna be good for Activision Blizzard as a company, and just because of all the problems that they had, and just because Bobby is not a great gaming CEO, I believe, right, and that he has not the best interest for the products that he puts forward, and I believe that. Being under Microsoft and Xbox and Phil Spencer, they will do a better job of promoting better games, and promoting creativity in that company. So I am not opposed to that merge. I just think that they have that some type of compromise needs to come from Microsoft, in just not saying, okay, we're gonna give you 5 years, 10 years. No, we're gonna give you Call of Duty forever. That's it. And you can sell
Like
it, and we
they
will
keep
take the
they
profit.
keep
That's it.
yeah, and it's not like I don't know why they keep like scaring people with that mention. I hear, I've been hearing, I keep hearing those things like, we're gonna give you 5, 2, 3, 5 years. Yeah, but why you just keep doing what you're doing? If you want to own the thing, okay, own them, but don't put a label on it thinking that, okay, have X amount of time to create your own Call of Duty, which is
It's stupid.
impossible.
No one has done it in, I don't know, 10, 20 years that that Call of Duty has been out. No one has even come close to it.
Yeah, Call of Duty, if something, Call of Duty have been outlasting franchises. I remember Medal of Honor. That's dead. Also,
Battlefield 2
Battlefield. I
is
was,
almost dead.
but
Killzone from
Battlefield,
PlayStation.
yeah, Battlefield was the only, the like the other 50%, and it wasn't 50, it was like 40 or 30, I don't know, of a
Mm.
hundred. And even them, they have their own problems, because it's this, there is a clear winner in the market. Uh, it's not like it's a lie to say that in the United States, iPhone is not the top seller in the mobile market.
Yeah.
We all know that. These are no breaking news. So how can you start saying like, okay, no, have your own time, develop your own game? That's not happening. It never happened before. So why? And that obviously, if you keep saying that, well, sorry, PlayStation or whatever, whoever is going to push you. Like, dude, like uh, that's not a valid argument. It doesn't stand your ground. That's not helping you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think that the core issue within Microsoft, and this is a speculation on my part, is that they do not have confidence that they can produce a new IP, a new exclusive IP from the ground. They do not have that confidence, and so they wanna just absorb the IP and have them to be exclusive. The existing IP, I meant. Um, I think that's the core issue, right? That they want to produce games and good games, but they want to have right now like a great IP, like a new great IP, and that's gonna take some time, and they just wanna have a shortcut. But let's see what happens with Xbox. Microsoft has said that they have lost the console war. Now they are playing victim card. We lost the console war. Okay, man. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but you choose to to lose the console wars. Why? Because you were buying companies.
Yeah, no, exactly. You didn't lose the game. That's on you. That's not on anyone else. And
No, and this is funny. Now, just think about the situation. They even have COVID on their side. How? And this is going to sound horrible, but it is what it is. You weren't able to get uh, a PlayStation 5 by back then,
yeah,
and even then, people were trying to get them, and somehow they managed to get one, and still their sales were good because people, since people couldn't find a free PlayStation, what are they gonna buy? Well, an Xbox, or a Switch, and still that didn't help them at all. So, what's your excuse? Or I don't know. I mean, there's if you want to find an excuse, you're gonna find it. But if it's not valid, sorry, but this you're not doing much for yourself.
no,
You're not.
they're playing the victim card to the FTC. Just look at us, we're weak. We have glasses. Don't hit a man with a glass. It's just like, oh, I'm a victim. Please let me buy this company so I can be even bigger. And that,
I don't get it. Like, I mean, you can play your cards in so many ways, but you're choosing to just play them badly, or I don't know, you're shooting yourself on the foot, and you want to buy your company, do it, but don't start saying like, okay, so don't worry, you got 5 years. No, no. I mean, I cannot. Well, companies are weird. When a company starts acting like a company, they forget in every level that they have a soul, or what's their core, or I don't know, the core mission or core values. They just become a fart in the wind, and right now Microsoft, with these allegations and this defense or whatever, I just who are you? What are you? Do you remember? Do you even remember how the world works? It doesn't make sense.
yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense, and they just need to. It's so easy as you say, man. Just change your compromise. You
Your
just,
core statement. I don't know.
yeah, your statement. Okay, yeah, okay. Instead of 10 years, we're gonna continue producing Call of Duty. I don't know, for multi platforms, and that's it.
or if you want this stupid exclusive deal so much, do like the Square Enix with PlayStation did. Okay, for the first year, Final Fantasy is going to be only on the PlayStation, but don't worry, it's gonna come later, and or 6 months. I don't know. something,
Yeah,
something feasible, something real, something.
something, yeah, something that will just say, like, signal to the FTC, like, okay, you meant good. You're not going to be just a predatory company. It's just easy, man. And I think, yeah, I don't know. Microsoft needs just to get out of their like own ego, and own way, and just
Or they might end just doing that, and if we want to put a tinfoil hat here, they're just manipulating in the narrative and doing this, and then at the end they're gonna end up looking like the good guys, coming up with the obvious statements. I don't know. I just
yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, so let's move to the second topic we have today, and maybe at the end we can talk about Twitch. I don't know. So Final Fantasy, man, Final Fantasy released 2 days ago from when we are recording right now. Final Fantasy 16 is a mainline, as they say, game coming from Final Fantasy that is not a remake. This is one of the two Final Fantasies that we're gonna get in less than, let's say, 6 to 7 months. I don't know. Final Fantasy 7 is supposed to be um, early 2024. So we're getting a good deal of Final Fantasies, um, which I'm not complaining, by the way. And so far, I would say so far so good. Let me share an image that actually you sent to me.
Final Fantasy franchise is so funny, especially for people that don't know much about gaming. Because my wife was like, "How many Final Fantasy are there? 16?" And like, you wish,
No,
you wish, because it's not even 16. It's not even the double.
16 are like the, as they say, the mainline Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's why they have that word every time they say mainline. It means that they have 16 of these games, with some of them having part one and part two, and then they have spin-offs of Final Fantasy,
Yeah,
right?
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy 7.
Tactic. Even only Final Fantasy X like have two Final Fantasy X, but the Final Fantasy 13 has like three or four games. So that's even crazier. And yeah, I don't know how many Final Fantasy.
That's a
I
great
think
question.
there's like 50 Final Fantasies. I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of Final Fantasy, and that's gonna come into play in one of my future arguments. But so, man, this is a must-play title. I think. Uh, incoming reviews, and people playing already 2 days into the game. Very positive feedback from both players and most of the reviewers. I would say 95, 98% of the reviewers that have played this game have very positive feedback, and so nine IGN gave them 9 out of 10. I think that it was sitting near to 90 in Metacritic's last time I checked. Tech Radar gave the 5 out of 5, and you can see here, right? And many streamers and reviewers that I follow also have gave them like, and this game has already hype for uh, game of the year, right? That's the phrase that most of people are using to refer to this game, like game of the year. And you can see here, like, on the favorite word from the favorite word for Sabusa is organic post. You can see here in the organic comments, right? Like, yeah, people like, this game is amazing. I have 10 hours already and I have not seen my family. Like, best seat in mainline, game 17 hours in last 2 days. I've lost concept of time. I was just reading this comment and I was just cracking and laughing at people, right? Uh,
You do this. I There's something it's not in my nature to go to the comments. It's not. I just don't do that. But it is fun. It gets fun from time to time. I need to start doing it just to get a feeling of the world.
yeah, exactly. I just wanted to see like people, right? Like
Right, right, right.
real life people, uh, like Square is missing out a huge amount of sales for not releasing it in other consoles. Okay, game of the year, and you can keep keep scrolling, right? And people are very, 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 very happy. Come on, give me more.
And this is not even Twitter. Not that I'm looking at
This
it.
is this is Instagram, right? This is not even Twitter. So yeah, man. So most of, I think, as I said, 95% of,
A positive welcoming, I guess.
yeah, yeah, like people are really happy. Of course, it's not a perfect game. There is not such a thing as a perfect game. um no one can claim that they have a perfect game. I think, in my opinion, there's always things that they could have done better. I think one of the main complaints that I've seen from different reviewers that I've seen, it's on some of the side quests of being boring or being repetitive, which it's something that it's unfortunately it's typical on at this point of many AAA games. I did see someone mention that others didn't mention, but someone mentioned that they had that the side quest, they had a mark when it was like an important side quest versus when it wasn't an important side quest. So if you don't want to do like all the side quests, you can just skip the unimportant and just do the important side quest, which is good. I don't think many games do that. Uh, I don't think I've seen another game that.
I think one of the main issues with game lately is that sometimes they feel like they are too big, and they are big games. And back in the day, or in another era, basically, time was a much manageable resource,
Yeah.
especially because now you have all these companies releasing games at the same time, and or one after another. And imagine yourself being in the middle, trying to play these games because you like it or you want to, but then you start stacking up hours of game time. So now you have a 20 to 40 game. Okay, you got 40 hours there. Then you got another game, another 30 hours. Now you have 70 hours. And then another good game, another 20 hours. Oh, then an indie game. Okay, 5 hours. And then you just go crazy. And this is happening to me. I got my backlog is stupid. I wanna play them. I'm meaning to play them, but then just thinking of that, it is a little bit depressing. So having this side quest more being marked is good, but at the same time, I see people thinking like, that doesn't feel good. But then I don't know. Uh,
What do you
get
think we should do with side quests? Should we just, in gaming in general, should we just eliminate side quests from?
that's really hard to do or to justify, because sometimes side quests become even funnier than the main story, or at
Yeah,
least
there
is
is
a
content.
break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's content, and I know these companies are fighting for your attention or
Yeah,
your time, and this is the same with social media and stream services and all. Lately, they fight for your engagement, for your attention, for your retention in something specific. That's justifiable. Just look at Elden Ring. Supposedly, you can spend more than 200 hours in that game, and that will be just okay. But then you got the consumer, or the average consumer, that is a salary man, a salary person that doesn't have much free time. But and side content can be most one of the most impressive things in a game. And one of my biggest examples, and I keep going back to it, the Witcher 3's side quest and content, so it can feel much better than the main game. But that's on the developer, and that's on the developer on
And
the
also in the type of game, right? Because
yeah.
Witcher is an open world, which,
Mm.
for example, Final Fantasy 16 isn't, and it's a semi-open world. But also, um, that was a focus for that game, for that developer, right? That was, I think, in my opinion, for what you have told me, that was a vision, and the original vision for Witcher 3 was to have meaningful decisions. That was like what they wanted to build, right? A world where your decisions matter, even in side quests and missions and interactions that you are going throughout the world, that will impact like outcomes, right? And so that's that game, right? That's that vision. And maybe they didn't focus that much in other areas, right? Maybe the combat isn't as engaging as other games, and that's good. Or maybe the main storyline isn't epic and cinematic as other games, right? Chose to, right? For example, God of War. Maybe the vision that they had was, okay, we're gonna do like a spectacle of story and cinematics and the main story, right? So I think that comes down to the vision, right? What do you wanna put out? Is this type of game where your decisions matter, and then so we're gonna focus on your side quests a lot, or is this a game where we have a story that we really want to tell, and we want you to enjoy that, but we're also gonna sprinkle a little bit of some things that are optional if you want to do it. If not, just stick to the main line. Yeah, I think that's like the,
That balance is really hard to pull off.
especially now, I think especially
Yeah,
now in modern gaming, where again gaming product, this is my point for so long, gaming production is getting harder and harder,
expensive and
expensive, and you have to
I,
focus, right? And you're not good at everything.
I think the hardware to this point, like the hardware to actually play the things, is not advancing as fast as the things they are creating,
That's
and that's why it's so hard for developers to, I don't know, put a really good looking game in a, I don't know, let's say 40 gigabyte size.
yeah, correct, yeah. So that's I think that comes to the vision, right? The vision of the game that you're trying to accomplish, and what you're trying to put out. At the end of the day, as you say, people have different times management, and so if you're someone that has to work and has kids, for example, like I do, and you have to balance work and playing. So maybe the best thing for you is just to skip some of the side quests, or maybe just stick to the important ones. I thought that feature was really, I haven't seen that in other games, was really good just for time management, right? For people
Right.
to say, okay, maybe let me stick to the important one for now, and then maybe if I have time, I will revisit some of the others. If I like them, I will do it. If not, if they suck, as many people say that most of them suck in this game, maybe I won't do them, and then I will just stick to the important ones and to the main story. And that's my choice as a gamer, because I have time and I want to play 7 other games that I have in my backlog. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was about other reviewers, man.
So look at this
Look at this.
guy. And he's got like all the rings on.
My thing is, like, it's very clear, like, he's like trying to make a point here.
Yeah, of course he.
Yeah, and it's so dishonest, man. It's so dishonest.
The thing is, the story, the terrible. The combat, press the same button 30 times.
Yeah. Stop
video.
it right there for a second. This is arguable too of another game, and my wife pointed it out because she played it, and I was, yeah, you can play it like that, but it's on you.
Which game?
Batman.
If you want any game, almost any game, you can play like that. But look at
The
the part
combat.
like at Twitter correcting. I love this because this is Twitter like feature of correcting.
Twitter is nightmare fuel. Yeah, what you
Press
guys?
the same button 30 times.
The person in the video is using multiple accessibility mode options, such as auto dodge and health regen, as well as only being on the literal prologue/introduction of the game.
Well, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh my. It's
Where's
like
this guy?
it's so tilting, man. It's
Yeah, man. So some reviewers, Polygon, one of those, wanted to be like, I don't know, like we wanted to be different. We want to be against the mainstream, and they put out this video which was completely misleading because as the uh, readers add the context, he's using the easy mode game, which
Yeah,
the developers showcase that like you can play with just X. If you want to do that, you have to put on some rings and accessories to do that. And then and he's using that without saying it. He's using that to make a point like, okay, this game has a awful combat because it has an option for those who want to do it to just win with pressing X, which is just so dishonest, man. So dishonest. What were you gonna say?
no, just yeah. I mean, you and there is not. Well, it's not an easy mode because, as far as I know, the demo is like basically the game, especially the first part, is the tutorial of the game, and it will be in the main game. The how it starts, and these items I read them. I didn't use them. I was like, this okay, no, this looks like too boring. And yeah, you can play like that if you want, as you say, if you want, if you choose to. Of man, I'm gonna play for 20 minutes or 40 minutes, but I just don't wanna advance in the story. Okay, equip that item and that's it. Move on with your life. But it's on you, and this could be also like accessibility options.
They are correct.
So okay, so dude, do you see what you're doing yourself? The inclusion terminology and subject as a whole is being pushed everywhere, so you're basically shooting yourself on the foot because you're gonna get those people fighting for that. So what are you even thinking?
Yeah. So the game has only two modes, right? It has
hmm
action focused and story focused,
hmm
right? When you start, when you go in action focused, the enemies are more difficult, as you would expect, and and you don't use any of the items that you were mentioned that are called timely accessories.
hmm
But when you go into the story focus mode, so enemies are less difficult, and you come out of the gate with two of those accessories equipped,
hmm
right? Like the
hmm
game is it's trying to tell you how to play the game easier, like in the easier mode. And as you said, this is an accessibility issue or an accessibility feature, I should say, because not everyone has the same capabilities of responses and stuff like that, right? And so for people that are not used to or maybe are not good at very action focused game, so the game is giving them an option to make easy as you want to the game. Maybe you want to equip just one. Maybe you are bad at dodging, let's say, and so maybe you just keep the dodge accessory, and you play the game as it is after that, right? So that's on you on the level of difficulty. But yeah, man, I just hate when people are just trying to make um, I don't know, content out of thin air.
Yeah, content for content's sake. You
Yeah.
can, and well, these are pages which are focused on engagement and metrics and how people interact with whatever they release. So the more flashy, the more I don't know, outrageous you look, well, you're gonna get people, and they did. Look, I mean, Asmongold is reacting to it, and he is
Yeah,
well known for that, and just that. And you can also argue like, okay, you're playing into a game because you are featuring in your channel, so they won. They won already.
yeah. Hopefully, no one clicked the link of their link and just Asmon goals or other people links, so they don't have like the direct traffic. Is that the word?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, maybe that's like a workaround. But yeah, they some people are just scammy, and they just wanna scam people and mislead people. But someone that I don't think that's his issue did a review which surprised us both, and maybe that's part of the topic of today. So beside like almost everyone coming with game of the year 9, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, some of them even. So we had Skill Up, which it's he's just another guy, right? Like he has reviews. Some of them are good. Some of them maybe
Yeah, he even met with the developer of the game,
yeah,
and
like many did, right? They invited many reviewers to Japan to play the game. Maximilian was one of those, and the guy from Skill Up went also. I don't remember which other went, but yeah, they from others, right? From Kind of Funny went also. So they invited various news outlets and gaming news journalists, and some of them played the game. So it was interesting to see his points. I didn't agree with most of them. Maybe you did with them. Just as any other reviewer, I think you have to take everything like with a grain of salt and just know that that's his opinion, right? And you may agree with them in some games and some others. But so, what do you thought? What do you thought about? What do you think about his review?
well, I played the demo. That's the only thing I got on me.
Yeah,
So I got an overall grasp on the at least the basic mechanics on the fighting, how the small arenas or size where you have control of the character and all that, and on the inputs on how the combat feels. It is it's not that I didn't like it, but at least at the beginning of the game, it felt like it was lacking something. Maybe obviously as you advance in the story and combat and gaining experience and all RPG stuff, like it gets deeper, it gets more complex, it gets complicated, it gets
which from all reviewers, it does, right? You get more.
Yeah, they say that it does.
Mhm.
However,
The
the
demo is just the intro, right? I think.
yeah, it's supposed like for even the demo tells you this. When you play the demo, they say, "Oh, okay, next time if you play the game, you're gonna continue where you're left off." So I assume then if I acquire the game, it will read my save file and I will skip all that and
You
just
should, yeah,
move forward with the story
yeah.
where it ends in the demo at least. So the combat is weird because it wants to be really fluid. It wants to be fluid. It wants to be engaging and all that, and it feels like that. But then sometimes you do the inputs and some animations they feel a little stale. And the biggest point of comparisons was with Final Fantasy VII Remake because this is like the closest thing to an active combat system, but at the same time is a turn base because there are obvious.
ATV, yeah, there's an ATV.
Yeah, there's an ATV side to it, but Final Fantasy VII made it look good, so good, and at the same time so responsive to a degree that when compared to this, yeah, it is different. It feels more engaging, but then I don't know, is there's something lacking, and I cannot put my finger on it.
So
Obviously, the developer of the Devil May Cry combat system is involved in this Final Fantasy, and it feels like that, and you can feel the core values of the fighting system from the Devil May Cry series. But then they are also thinking about people that don't know anything about these games or haven't never played them, and so there's a mix, a weird mix there, and I it's not that I dislike it, but I'm not 100% on board of it. I think they did it better with Final Fantasy VII.
I don't know, man. When going back to the skill app, I didn't play the demo, but I've read a lot and I've seen a lot. Going back to the skill app, I think the main issue with this guy, with I don't know his name, is that he's trying to compare it to what he would have developed, and I think that's a problem with reviewers in all other genres. Uh, when a reviewer is trying to be in the head, or trying to be in the position of the developer, right, or the filmmaker or the artist, right, instead of reviewing what is in front, right. um, so I find it very fascinating that, like, all of the people that I've seen said that the combat is awesome. It's great. It has quick times, which are maybe the things that are weird for you.
Oh no, the quick time events that the inputs they appear on the screen. I gotta tell you because they didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah,
The,
maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. I've seen
but
that.
but it's not how they put. It's not that they are there. That's not the issue. Is that the window to actually miss them? It doesn't make sense.
It's too big, right? I think.
It's not big. Is as soon as they pop, I clicked them, but so I was like, oh yeah, I didn't miss it. But then one I left it there, and it was like that's all your time. Like okay, that destroys the
Immersion. Let's say.
yeah. I was like okay, why is so long? I get it. If you want to make it easy, that I get it, but still, it's too easy.
It's too easy. Yeah, that's something that we can talk. But what I meant is that everyone keeps praising the combat as a great
Mm,
comeback, a great comeback. Not perfect, but yeah, no one is. But a great comeback, and then when I heard Skill Up's review, he kept mentioning, as you also did, Final Fantasy VII. Ah, yeah, it's like Final Fantasy is is the combat, is the turn base, is what Final Fantasy should supposed to be. Uh, it's not reviewing. He wasn't reviewing the game he was playing. He was
mm,
reviewing in his mind the game he wished he had.
mm, mm,
Instead of reviewing this game and saying, is this game good or not? Not asking himself, is this the game that they should have done? And that's why I think he has a very different. It's not like this game has mixed reviews, because it doesn't. This
mm,
game is an appalling, like, success for people, as we saw, for critics, for streamers, for gamers, like, around. They are all enjoying. You go to Twitch, this is like the thing right now, right? And everybody's talking about this game, and everybody's playing, and you saw Fighting Cowboy, and there is Maximilian, and there is um, and then you can, if you want to, Asmongold is playing it live. So, and everyone is saying this is great. And then he comes up and starts, like, his video with a 5 minute speech of how he went to Japan, and uh, how Final Fantasy they have been, like, m- throughout years. And so when he kept mentioning throughout the video game, he wasn't reviewing the game he was playing. He was always thinking on, is this what I wanted them to build. Is this what I wanted them to build? And I think that's a disservice to what he should do, right? A reviewer should do. And he starts the video saying like, okay, this is my personal opinion, but yeah, it's good. It's your personal opinion, but you're putting like a review of the game. You should at least be fair in terms of review what you have, right? What they built for you. Try to make it the most. I cannot believe like everyone else is enjoying it, and from the reviewers, let's say, and only he has a problem with the combat, for example, which for all terms and purposes for everyone else that has played like outside the demo and has gone into the depth of the having different abilities and, as you say, the RPG systems, everyone else says that it's depth, that is deep, that is engaging, that you can switch your talents here and there, and have different combinations and do your aerobatics and whatever, right? So everyone is getting the most out of this game, but I think he was just so caught up on, I wanted a turn-based type of game as Final Fantasy VII. That's what I took from that video, is that he personally wanted a Final Fantasy VII type of game, which, if I'm being honest, I don't think that's a good idea. You know why?
Well,
because you have Final Fantasy VII. We will
and,
have
and,
it
and, and it's coming out, right? Yeah.
in 7 months or maybe less. You know, Final Fantasy is not a year. 7 is not a year away. It's here. You can play it.
Did you ever watch? I don't know if did you play Final Fantasy 15?
15? No, 15. No, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't either. And this was before Final Fantasy. This is before Final Fantasy VII even came out. But what happened with Final Fantasy 15 for me is that I never played it. I saw gameplay. I saw how the combat looked, and I didn't like it. At least at first glance, I didn't like it. I haven't played it yet. I don't think I will.
Yeah,
I don't think I will, because all people come to a conclusion on that game, and it's the same, and it's not like I have time to spare to waste my time.
Yeah,
and this, when I saw the gameplay of this, it wasn't the same. It looks similar. It had a core of something, but it's much deeper. And since I played, I can say on the demo, I can say, yeah, it's not the same, because this has a control input feeling like Devil May Cry does, because it's like that. You have to play it certain way. You have to do your dodges with your blocking,
dodges,
parries, and all that.
Uh-huh.
And it's control input sequence. Like if you do combinations, you do something else. I know that is, and this is an evolution on the combat system. It is their own combat system, and it's not a bad combat. I wouldn't be critical of the combat, because okay, the combat is all right. But a friend of mine played the demo as well, and he did say something, that the game is really heavy focus on the cinematic side, or at least when you don't have control of the character. The only control of the character that you have is for lesser exploration, which the demo has some of it, and the other side is just combat arenas. You go from place to place, fighting from fight to fight, and then you leave your control to the side and enjoy the show. And that's okay.
I mean, which is not new, right? Like,
yeah, they
God of War does that.
I don't like Metal Gear. Metal Gear does that, and they do. I don't know. And games that I've been playing lately, they do that as well. Yakuza games, they do that a lot. You just see, you have all these fighting sequence, and now you get to the cinematic part when they tell you a story and blah blah blah. And they get dramatic and all that. But on the demo when I was playing it, I felt that I felt that it was more than it should be, or at least it shouldn't be that much, or I don't know how to make it like so it doesn't feel that way. So it doesn't feel like they're dragging too much. I felt that when I played the demo. I was like, okay, wait, where is this ending? Because I I thought I just sat here for a demo and this feels like a full like I'm playing the full game, and I told you this. But I don't know. I don't know if the pacing it gets better or what, or if this happens
Yeah, I
on
would
the
say something because to you, especially because I know you and you get also so up in your head. Um, put aside this review from this guy when you're playing.
Oh, but yeah, I did, and I told you this before I saw a review that this game feels long. The combat is cool, but I don't get it.
Because the game is long. From all terms and purposes, the
Yeah,
people have said that this game is long. So the demo, even its long demo compared to Resident Evil demos or stuff like that,
yeah,
this
like
game is
20 minutes.
long, right? And
Mm.
and in story is long. It's very story driven. But what I would say is especially for you, just do not get up in your own mind, like trying to say uh, this could be different. Enjoy what it is, right? It is, and for all other reviews, I cannot say that because I haven't played it, and I will play it. This game, I will play it. I will buy it, and it's on the top of my list, and most likely it's gonna be the game of the year this year, and if I think that for it to lose the game of the year, something has to happen with Starfield. Like that, I don't think it will. It will happen. But yeah, for all terms of purposes, I think this is going to be the game of the year. And so I will play this game, and that's. I think it's a must-play game at this point. Uh, just having into consideration, just considering everyone's like the bulk of people and reviewers just having great not again, it's not perfect, no game is perfect, but like the great amount of good vibes coming out of the game, of people playing it, and people that know this stuff. um I would say that, skill up is kind of on the very very minority, and he said it himself, even I would say like wrong on this one. uh, Not that everything he said was wrong, but on the overall like feeling and review, I think he was bringing a lot of what he wanted to happen instead of just seeing what he had in front of him, right? It's just like when someone has a new girlfriend and keeps comparing the new one with the old one. It's like, man, that's on you.
That's toxic.
That's toxic. Exactly.
That's toxic.
Enjoy your new girlfriend, and most likely she's hot and she's a good person, and she
Let it go.
yeah, let it go. Exactly, right. And that can happen to people also. So yeah, it looks like a must game, and most certainly it looks like the game of the year so far. And that's what it's headed. I think that's what we are headed with this game. It's going to be most likely game of the year of 2023. Time would tell. But yeah, man, I think that's all I have on that. I don't see any other game trying to rival this game as at least, I don't know, in the what do you think? Any other game? Starfield? Do you think it has the potential to be game of the year?
I lost faith in humanity, especially in releases lately for obvious reasons. And the worst part is that I'm not even paying them. And I feel bad for the people that do.
Yeah,
And because, dude, it's not like money is growing on trees in any country by any metric, because
yes,
for everyone it's hard, or in some degree it's not easy. Some have it easier than others and so on, but that's how the world works. But still, I just I gotta, when they release it, we'll see. I hope it's a good game. I hope it pulls people. I hope it shuts people up. Like, oh, you thought we are gonna fail? We didn't. Look at this game. Look at it. And
Yeah,
but that's not happening lately. So
I don't
you
know.
cannot blame me for being an
Yeah,
aseptic here.
yeah, yeah. You know, it's true. I cannot blame you, and I know that I like to push that, but at least until the game is released, you have to be like you are, a
and
skeptic.
yeah,
When it
and
releases, then it's like the Schrodinger's cat. When you
yeah,
open the box, you know what it is, and then you have to take it for what it is.
and I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong because I want products that go out to be great. I want people to have fun with whatever they choose to have fun with. Even if they're freaking Assassin's Creed, that's on you. Or if
Yeah,
you enjoy FIFA, I hope your game doesn't have bugs, man, because those are bad on any metric, on any on or I hope your game doesn't crash or all that.
yeah, man.
But as things are, you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait it out. You just gotta pay the patience game and hope for the best.
Man, I don't know. This week they are on a marketing tour, obviously, and doing some interviews and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. Some things they have said are great, but as they do these interviews and they get asked,
They're shooting themselves or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like a little bit because they are revealing stuff that out of context they seem really bad, in my opinion. So, for example, if I were to tell you that you're gonna play a game where
Hmm.
only 10% of the game of the map, let's say of the map, 10% of the map, let's say Horizon, let's say I'm gonna tell you, okay, Horizon 3 is out, but only 10% of the map has machines.
Eh?
Would you consider that
Then
without any other context? I just told you that only 10% of Horizon maps has machines. Is that something that is good
the
in your mind?
was the 90% made of them
Of
trees?
of just materials and trees and bushes and stuff that you can collect, let's say, in the
Uh,
Horizon world.
what was the what I think you're trying to sell me another game just by saying that I is Sky what was it Skyfall Sky what was
No,
the name
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky No Man
Yeah, and everyone is saying that because No
by
Man the
that by that thing that you just said to me. I thought you were selling me that game and that promise didn't deliver
and I
on
think
release date.
and I think Starfield is going the same way because this week, um, the producer, Tom, I think is his name, he was in an interview and he was asked how many planets of the 1,000 planets. You said
What was the
one
deal with that concept? I
one 1,000 planets, and he said that only 10% of the planets have life, like I don't know, alien life or I don't know, yeah, or
you you
animals, stuff like
you
that.
you can tell a story through a world, but you cannot tell your whole story based on that if that is not the sale point of your
I
game.
don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. You can tell a story through a world. I don't think they are trying to tell a story through a world. They have a story, and that story is gonna be like somewhat linear, and you can follow that. But they are selling the exploration, and what you are selling is exploring 900 planets that do not have life and only have materials that you can gather, and only 100 of those planets will have life in them. I don't know. It seems so barren. It seems so boring. Why will I go to 900 planets just for material? Maybe I will go to two or
Just
10.
for the view.
just for the view. Maybe I will go to 10 planets without, because I need to gather resources for my empire,
Yeah,
my galactic empire that I will build.
and
But
going back to what we talked just a little bit ago, like how can you justify your time in just all if only 10% has something to interact with in a, I don't know, enemy type, or I don't
yeah,
know, NPC or something like that.
we don't know. Yeah.
You don't have the time to explore 1,000 planet. I don't this.
When I read that, I was like, out of context, without any more context of the game. I don't know if in those 900 planets something else will happen of interest other than gathering resources. I don't know if you would get, I don't know, attacked
But
by other companies,
Ju-
pirates. I don't know.
just get in your developer brain, which you have, because you have to think in some degree in your job about this. How can you feel all that? Is just a space being filled for the sake of filling space, or
Yeah,
is if you want to make a big game, I'm sure with the current technology you can make the biggest game of them all.
yeah,
You can do it, but why do it if you cannot uh, fill it with something worthy or content or story? Is I I
it's just the space. It's just the space mythos of exploration. They that's what they were going through in this, which is good, but and they wanted to be grounded, and maybe it makes sense, as some say in the internet, that it makes sense because there is not life in every planet in the real world.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, but let me tell you something. As a human species, we don't go planet to planet, like go like someone goes and check if there's life. We send a probe, we send other type of stuff, and then if there's nothing in a planet, we
Well,
won't go there.
you just don't go because why?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're already telling me that 900 don't have life, maybe I won't go to those 900, because we already know, and that happens in real life too. If there is nothing of interest for us in any other planet, we would just send a drone to pass by and then gather information and never visit that planet. That's the same that's gonna happen here. We are gonna send or have the information in the UI. Okay, this planet doesn't have any life. Maybe it has some resources, but I can gather those resources in this planet that I already
Yeah,
visited.
but still, if you pull the resource card, then you're gonna tell me that you're gonna have 900 planets, 900 planet with a different resource, one each. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it feels like they're trying to pull, and that's where I'm going with, because if the resource is your focus, okay, spread it among two or three, because you don't want people going around like an idiot, just looping. I'm making a World of Warcraft quest for your raid.
Yeah, I don't know, there has to be something else. If not, that's not gonna work, and people will just focus on the 100 planet, which it's still a lot of planets, I guess. 100 planets is a lot of planets, and maybe with that is enough, and people will just completely ignore the other 900 planets and just focus in those where there's life, and that will make the game. Yeah, let's see if the 100 planets are enough.
When's the release date on this one
Of
again? September.
Starfield, it's supposed to be, yeah, September.
I want to say September.
Let me release date September 6th. So
Yeah,
it's coming
okay.
fast. It's coming fast. But yeah, man. Let's see what happens. This is Xbox card for this year, and they have to play it. They have to play it well, and hopefully it's enough for people just to go into the 100 planets and into the story that they have. And they have good system. They have shown good system. Just to be fair to them, they did explain a little bit more about the whole building your ship system. I think they have a great system there, like a Minecraft type of building blocks system for your your spacecraft, which I think is going to be great. So they have good system. Let's see if that's enough with the content that they have built for keep you engaged. Okay, guys, this is gonna be for us. Close us, man.
All good. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As always, you can follow us on OnlyFillers in pretty much everywhere in the known universe, in over 100,000 planets, or in this case, social media and stream services, or audio, whatever you hear audio on your radio or wherever. Yeah, at OnlyFillers, you can find us, but basically, mainly on the well-known sites, YouTube, Kick. I don't know if what is it well known, but at least exists. Yeah, when they kick you on the ground and pay other people a lot of money, and and also Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, all these sites you can find us with the Only Filler Stack. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, leave your comments if you have any. YouTube usually has that box, but do it.
Yeah, do it. Okay, that's all. Peace.